Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Custom Carving and Epoxy UK. So this video hopefully is going to be a reasonably short one because it's gone 11:30 at night in the UK, but I am determined after how close I got to getting the perfect bloom with this coaster to try it again so that I can demold one tomorrow and hopefully get the perfect bloom. I'll say this was so close except for those few places where it blotted, and I've been thinking about things, and the only thing I can think of is maybe try it a little bit hotter, because I think we got this one to 33 degrees before pouring. I'm going to try and get it out around about 38-39 degrees before pouring, but one thing I will say with this Let's Resin is look at how crystal clear that is, and there's not a single bubble in there, so I'm really impressed with the resin. So it's going to be pretty much the same process. All I've done so far is mixed up some resin, and now I'm just waiting for it to get fully up to temperature. And we're at 33.6 at the minute, and this is pretty much where we poured with the last one, and I think that could be the issue. Again, I don't think the white was too heavy, so it wasn't that, but again, just to try and preempt that, I am going to be using a piping bag this time as well, just to make sure that I try and get a level amount of that white in there, reasonably even. And I'm not going to put the mica powder in this time in the white. I am going to put some iridescent nail powder in though, which worked really well in the last blooms that I did. So we'll see if that works in this one. But now all I've done, mixed up the resin and waiting for it to pretty much get up to temperature. And I'm going to try and go with a pink, bluey purple bloom for this one and see what happens. But if you've not watched any of my previous bloom videos, go back, watch those, and that will show you the whole process. And this is really just me trying to get it perfect for one. And that's 37.5. But one thing I have thought of is I don't know how accurate these actually are, because if I point it towards the bottom of the resin, it's only coming out 28.6, so that's a big difference between the surface temperature of 37.7 and the base is 27.4. So maybe that's been my issue, that it hasn't been fully getting up to temperature, and I've been relying on the readings that this has given me, which is only really from the surface of the resin and not the full resin. But I don't know, let me know in comments what you think about that possible theory. But that's why I'm going to wait for the surface at least to get up to 40 degrees this time, and at least by doing that, hopefully the base should be up to around about 33-34 is the theory. If you haven't already, guys, as well, please like and subscribe to the channel. It makes a huge difference. Just give us a thumbs up, put something in comments whether you're liking it or not. Let us know if you think that my theory as to why the blooms haven't been working perfectly yet is correct or not. And for this one, I'm going to be going with the Let's Resin alcohol inks. Again, shake them up before you use them. I'm going to go with cerulean. I'm going to go with sapphire blue. And I'm going to go for a dark centre this time, so I'm going to go with purple because that's normally quite a dark colour, and then I want a little bit of a lighter colour in there as well, so I'm going to go with this peach red, which actually comes out as a really bright pink, but I think that will go well with the cerulean. And then, as I said, I've got some blue iridescent nail powder that I am going to put into the white as well, because that worked really well when I did get a successful bloom, so hopefully it will work again this time. And I am going to use the piping bag this time again, just to try and keep that control, try and keep it level, and hopefully get the perfect bloom this time. So hopefully it's going to work. We're at 38.6, so we're nearly there. But again, that's saying 38.6. If I go to the bottom, it's only showing us 30.7, so it just shows you that the resin gets hotter on top than it does on the bottom. And this is only just over 2.5 ounces. So imagine if you're doing 8 ounces, I'd imagine that will get worse, where it'll be even hotter at the top and then colder at the bottom. Don't know, but that's the theory anyway. I've also looking forward to demolding these jewellery pieces tomorrow, which we did with that silicone sinker mix to see if we get a decent effect out of those. Worked really well last time, but what I did differently this time was I did the chameleon inks, then the silicone sinker, then another layer of normal alcohol inks, and then the white sinker. So again, we'll see tomorrow if that's worked out. Oh, so close. But again, I am going to use the Let's Resin Ocean White this time because I want to get used to this one, because again, it feels heavier to me weight-wise than that cheaper knockoff that I was using from Temu. But I am liking the Let's Resin products at the minute, so it's more than likely that I'm going to continue wanting to work with those. And at least when you buy a branded product, you normally know you're going to get the same product every time you order. And so far I found with Let's Resin, the alcohol inks and the sinker white has definitely worked for me on the Petrie effect. So I don't see any reason why to question whether the ocean white pigment doesn't. So I'm going to persist with that and hopefully get the right mixture. 39 degrees, almost there. And again, whenever you're doing projects like this, make sure your surface is level. So I did check that this was level again before I did this. And just by nudging it or banging it, you can almost de-level it. And when you do that, your blooms will actually shift from side to side, which is not what you want. So always make sure that your surface is level that you're doing blooms on. And another top tip, always have a few spare molds nearby. So that if you've got any excess resin, and in blooms I normally have some excess white, it gives you something to utilize that in. You can actually feel the resin starts to feel a bit warmer as well, just from the touch. So that is showing me 35 at the bottom and pretty much 40 degrees on top. So it's pretty much there now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it first. So pouring literally half of one of these for my white mixture. And I think that'll be enough for one coaster. There we go. And then the rest of it is all just going straight in. And I really liked the depth that I got on the last coaster, so I'm hoping that this is roughly going to be the same. But hopefully by waiting for that extra 1 degree, it will make a little difference. I am going to put some of these glitter things in there in the center as well, because I quite like that effect in the last one. Again, not too many, just a few. And I don't want them to fly all over the place. Hopefully get them somewhere near the center. I just think it adds a little something extra. And if anything's going to go wrong, it's usually your center when you put your swirl in that goes all over the place, all blobs. And I say that last piece, it was just so disappointing to get those 2 or 3 blobs that for me spoiled the piece. But hopefully it was just temperature issues and we can get past that this time. So I'm just going to poke those down. And you can see the resin's already a little bit thick, which I'm presuming will be a good thing for this. So that is that. And now I'm just going to add, shaking up the ocean white, and literally 2 drops I think is enough. One, 2. And then what I'm also going to add is just a tiny bit of this iridescent blue nail powder to that white. and hopefully that'll give us a really cool effect. So next step is going to be the inks, and for this one, for the first time, I'm going to try a dark centre. So I'm going to put a couple of dots of purple in the centre. I can see the spreading quicker actually. So hopefully that is the temperature difference. Then I'm going to go in with this peach red, which should be quite a bright pinkish colour. But yeah, they're spreading a little bit differently, so hopefully that's a good sign. And then around the outside, I'm going to try and do two different blues. So I'm going to go in with this sapphire blue. And then this lighter cerulean, which is actually one of my favourite blues in the Let's Resin kit. And I think that's enough colour. And now to mix up the white, so just mixing that up. And make sure you mix your white thoroughly so you can see how opaque it is. You don't want it completely opaque. You still want to just be able to sort of see the stick through it. And this is actually really starting to thicken up already, so I'm hoping that's a good thing. But for me, I think that's about the right consistency. So I'm going to pour it in the piping bag. All of it can go in. And hopefully this time, with it being that little bit warmer, it will work. So that's the white in the piping bag. And then once it's in there, I'm just going to want to snip the tiniest bit off. So around about, I'd probably say 2 mil is what I'm looking for. But it does actually feel warm in the bag, which it didn't last time. So hopefully this is going to work. So again, starting in the center and then just going to go around in an even circle. And there we go. Hopefully that is going to work. So I'm just going to put the petals in now. So bringing it straight in, and I can see that is definitely thicker. Straight away that feels so much thicker than yesterday's pour. So hopefully that's all that was wrong. And again, with your petals, completely up to you how you do them. For me, this is the simplest way. It's just doing your 8 and then splitting them again. And then what I like to do is just go out from sort of halfway outwards to try and create a little tip. But I can definitely see that that is certainly thicker than yesterday. So hopefully this could be, finally, after God knows how many attempts, the perfect bloom. And then I'm just going to give it a tiny little swirl in the center there. Not too much, but just enough to move those petals. So let me know what you think, whether this is going to work or not. And then again, as I said, if you've got any spare resin like I have got with that white, I'm just going to put some alcohol ink in this teddy bear mold. Because again, I tried this for the first time yesterday and got some really cool effects. Just putting the ink directly into the mold and then adding the white mixture. Never waste your resin once you've mixed it. That's what I would say. And hopefully I should have enough. It's going to be really funky actually looking at those colours. I'm just hoping that this bloom actually works. And I think it's also dependent on your resin and on your temperatures as to whether it works or not. So hopefully, once I've got it, then I can just replicate it each time. There we go, so that's that teddy. And then I might see if I can get a couple of these little seahorses just with the remainder of that white. I can get one. One thing I've learnt with these tiny seahorses is just to pay a lot of attention to the mouth, because that's the bit that tends to not form in such a small mould, and you're better off just going over the edges a little bit more than you probably would in any other piece, and then just trimming off any excess. So I think that's about as much as we're going to get. I'm really looking forward to seeing what that teddy turns out like, because that is almost like neon. Loving those colours. And I hope we're going to see a more successful bloom from this one. So what should happen is those colours and those petals should start now to pull in, and that's what creates your bloom. So hopefully it's going to get there. Now it's just a case of waiting 24 hours till tomorrow and seeing if we had a successful bloom. But let me know what you think in comments. And again, guys, if you like the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. It makes a big difference, and we'll be back for the demold in about 24 hours. But just going to give you a bit of a close-up. This is what it looks like at the moment. And that teddy looks so cool. But this is the bloom, and it does seem to be pulling in a little bit, so that's a good sign. So touch wood, finally may have mastered it, but I won't know if there's any blobs or not until tomorrow. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's only been about 10 hours, but these feel set enough to demold. I know they won't be fully cured, but I wanted to do it anyway. And looking at the back of that, I think this could be my best bloom yet. So fingers crossed. But before I do that, I'm just going to demold the little teddy and see what he looks like. He's still going to be a bit soft, I think, because as I say, it's only been 10 hours. But I love the back of this guy, just with the colours that I use. So I'm going to demold him anyway and have a quick look. As I say, it's still a little bit soft, so it's just been a little bit careful. Wow. Look at that. That is stunning. I think I've got a new favourite teddy, and I think that one's going on my keyring. But yeah, I really love that effect with the spare white that we had and the alcohol ink straight in. Absolutely stunning, that guy. And now for the big one. Now I'm going to be really careful because I know it's only been like sort of 10 to 12 hours, but I think if I'm careful I can demold. So again, be patient at home. Don't do what I do. Yeah, so we've got it demolded, and I'm praying that after God knows how many attempts at the bloom, this is the one that has worked. So we will see. This is the back. Loving that. And let's have a look. Has it worked? Come on, 3D bloom. Wow. Absolutely just wow. That is what I've been wanting. All of these attempts have led to this piece. Look at that. And look at the way that blue iridescent powder just comes through on the end of those petals as well. That is absolutely stunning. And it makes all of those failures worth it, you know. And I think now with this resin, I think if I do blooms again, I know exactly what to do. So it's a case of getting that heat up a little bit more to the 40 degrees. And yeah, wow, I'm really impressed with that. Stunning. Let me know if you agree in comments, but that is the way a bloom should look. So really happy. Don't forget guys, if you've liked the content, like and subscribe to the channel. It makes a big difference. It doesn't cost you anything, but it makes a big difference to the channel. So just like and subscribe. Put something in comments if you want, but that is why all of those failed attempts happened, to finally come out with that. That is absolutely stunning. And again, I haven't covered it in anything, but I don't think I want to. I actually really like them just on the clear, transparent background. And those details and those petals with the colours as well, that for me is perfection. Finally. So there we go. My best 3D bloom yet. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and join us on the next one.